Heart health is always an important topic, not just in Heart Health Month like February. Right here in the Tri-State, it's a big issue. And so we wonder what foods can help keep our hearts healthy. Well, thankfully, Megan Solomon is here from the Purdue Extension, and she's brought the grains.
Yes.
She's brought the goodies.
Yes.
Good to see
all
you.
The grains. Good to see you, too.
You know, it's so interesting to think about because, you know, typically what do we know? We know flour.
Yes.
I mean, we might know wheat. We might know, you know, whatever.
Kind of oats. So most people know oats are a grain, but, you know, people kind of tend to shy away from the grains because they think grains and they think carbohydrates and they think sugar and weight gain. But really, grains are a really important part of our plate. So if you bring up our My Plate, which is our guiding tool here, grains are a pretty big, ooh, there we go, as I throw it. Grains are kind of a big part of our plate, you know? And so what we have to think about is how are we gonna make at least half our grains whole grains? And so we have to kind of think outside the grain box.
What are we talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so we see that on something that's whole grain, but what does that really mean?
It means that the grain has not been over-processed. So a grain seed, whether it's quinoa, whether it's barley, whether it's wheat, whether it's oats, whatever it is, it has three parts. So it has an outer shell that's called the bran, and so that's this protection, but that's where your fiber is. And so whole grains are a really good source of fiber. They also have some good vitamins and nutrients in that part. Inside is our carbohydrates. And so that's where you get that energy source from that endosperm of our grain. And then we have a germ, which is what is used to regrow a new grain seed.
So a seed.
Yes, but that's where a lot of the antioxidants, a lot of vitamins and minerals are. And so we don't really think about grains as having that much nutrients in them. But what happens when we have our refined grains is that they strip everything out except that endosperm.
Right.
And so we're left with carbohydrates and maybe a little protein, but we're missing all of those extra vitamins and minerals.
What's the best way to add them into our daily diets? I mean, we think breakfast, okay, fine, oats, but whatever.
Yes, but you can think about when do you eat bread, when do you have pasta, when do you use rice, and substitute. You know, quinoa, couscous, farro are excellent, like, substitutes for rice and wheat. And wheat and rice can be whole grain as well. But like those quinoas, we have some ancient grains here. So we have like millet and our farro and grits. So even our, polenta, our barley, all of those kinds of things can usually easily be put in, and some of them are really flavorful. So they're even gonna add an extra layer of deliciousness.
Right, and it really is true, but most of us are unfamiliar. You see farro, and you think, well, I know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
But to give it a try, and you can buy in bulk places like 6 and 0, just to get a little bit.
Yes.
To see, okay, if that works on your plate.
And a lot of times these are easier to cook than a rice because they take less time. Or, they're just, you heat up some water, boil the water or whatever. Some of them are better if you soak them a little bit, but really they're very simple to make.
When you sent us a bread recipe too, bread in a bag, how can we access that?
Yes, so I would be happy to send it. Bread in a bag is a super easy way to add extra whole grains into your daily life. It's a fun activity. It's a great way to get kids involved in the kitchen because it takes that stickiness away of making bread that you're trying to get it into a dough ball and knead it. And you just do it all in a bag. So you start with all these ingredients here. It's a step-by-step thing. You get it ready, and then you do the kneading process. And I think my yeast didn't quite
do its thing.
Which happens sometimes.
It's a gamble,
right?
Yes.
Baking is a science, and so we have to make sure our yeast is working. My water may not have been warm enough, but it happens. But still, you can have an end result. This is very edible. It just may not be the most delicious bread in the world.
You slice that thing into toast and it'll be fine.
Exactly, make some croutons out of it or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, but it's real easy to do. It's a lot of fun. Great way to start incorporating more whole grains.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back. Get those grains in your diet, friends, right after this. Stay with us.